Murder at the Embassy. I'm a huge fan of murder mysteries. Wondering if you were before you embarked on this journey, and if not, did it change your perception of the genre itself?
Actually, it's one of my favorite genres, and I've never had a chance to be in one of them before. And it was actually the main reason why I wanted to do this because I'm a huge fan. My children are a huge fan, and I've always wanted to be a part of it. So it was a great opportunity to finally actually get to do it.
Can you tell our listeners a little bit about your character? I really liked how he's pretty much the grounding force. Whenever he's in frame, I'm thinking, okay, everything should be fine. Everyone should be safe. Talk about your character and approaching that role.
So Mahmud is the head of security at the British Embassy in Cairo in the 1930s. And during his time there, a murder happens at the embassy. And the ambassador at the time calls in somebody from the outside to investigate. And of course, it's Miranda Green, who's played by Misha incredibly well. And he has issues with somebody coming into his terrain and trying to investigate, show him up, so to speak. And so their relationship starts a little bit on the rocky front. But everybody that's in the vicinity of the embassy at that time is a suspect, including him. So when Miranda first gets there, she suspects him as well as everybody else. And so that, of course, you know, is where their relationship starts off. It doesn't start off on the best of terms. So they're both quite suspicious of each other.
This is such a beautiful looking film, and I'm sure you had a lot of pleasure shooting in Egypt and returning a
Yes.
bit. But for me, as an
Mhm.
outsider, can you just talk about that sequence where you're out in the desert with her, and whether it's CGI or real, it just looks so beautiful. Is that one of the great advantages of shooting in Egypt? Because you're wondering as a viewer, is this real or CGI? Because it's just so cinematic.
No, it's real, all right. We were at the Giza Plateau in Egypt shooting by the pyramids. You get a call sheet, you're at your job and it's 5 o'clock in the morning and you're looking out and there's the pyramids and there's the sun coming up at the same time. Sometimes you have to pinch yourself. And that day was one of those days. It was one of those days that sticks in my memory. And in terms of you don't get that many experiences in life to have a beautiful life moment combined with work and you're doing it together and then it becomes something completely different. And the only thing that I remember apart from the beauty was also the heat. It was incredibly hot. We were shooting in the height of summer in Cairo. We had no shade anywhere because the pyramids are in the desert, so there's nowhere to stand to get any kind of shade. So it was an incredible experience, and both Misha and myself just kind of loved it. And then we got to work with a camel as well. So that was another bonus of working with animals as well as the pyramids and then being in that environment.
You've had a very successful career, and I was looking at some of your past interviews, and you mentioned how, as a youth, Jerry Lewis was an inspiration for you. And it struck
Yes.
a chord in me because I remember when I was 9, 10, maybe going into 11, all I would do is watch Jerry Lewis movies. We're the same age. So,
Yes.
me being my early 50s, I still haven't returned because those moments were so powerful for me as a kid. So, wondering if you could elaborate that power of Lewis's work had on you regarding your imagination and continuing your journey.
Oh, you're bringing back so many memories now just by mentioning his name. So Jerry Lewis for me, because I loved comedy so much, and his physical comedy was incredible. And I couldn't sit still as a child watching a Jerry Lewis movie. And he just inspired me so much in terms of physicality and reminding me later when I became a professional to always make sure that I'm bringing a physicality to every part that I'm playing, whatever the physicality may be. But I learned that really from watching him and seeing all the various things that he's really able to do with his physicality. Not just that he's funny, but what is he doing with his body and how he utilizes his body and how he utilizes his body to convey something without having to speak. And already we're in stitches. It's like he had me in stitches and he hadn't even opened his mouth. He hadn't said anything. And so I found him to be a huge inspiration as I started. And one of the reasons definitely why I got into the business was because of him.
So, final couple questions. What's the last couple of years been like for you shooting in Egypt with Murder at the Embassy? And I've started really watching a lot more Angel Studios material. I really love their
Yeah.
films. And just I'm excited to actually check out Testament. So, what was that
Yes.
path like for you in that series? That must have been really cool because that's a whole different form of storytelling, just like this movie is.
Yeah, like I feel really blessed to play as many different genres as I possibly can because I feel like I get to learn. I'm here, my acting journey is a learning journey as a human being. And the more that I get not confronted, but the more I get to partake in different genres and different times, I get to time travel. I get to learn about different ways of being and how people were. The more I feel enriched and my life becomes much richer because of these experiences. So whether I'm shooting Testament, because shooting Testament, I knew nothing of the book of Acts and I knew nothing about what happens to everybody after Jesus is dead, because that's where my knowledge stopped. And the same with this genre. I wasn't around in the 1930s in Egypt at the time. So I get to time travel into that space and get to experience a little time capsule, what it like could have been like if I had been around during that time. And so that's actually the great privilege of what we do and the great blessing.
Yeah, so I'm gonna recommend Murder at the Embassy. I'm gonna watch Testament. I'm sure I'm gonna recommend that as well. Now,
Okay.
for you, regarding your own resume, for our listeners, can you recommend a TV project or movie that you've been in that you feel was maybe overlooked that you would like our viewers to check out? A special project that you feel maybe should have a little bit more spotlight. And I know it's hard because you've had such a diverse career. So.
Oh wow, I don't know. That's a really interesting question. I've never been asked that before. I don't know. I
You're gonna
couldn't
have to
really tell you.
you're gonna have to time travel for 22, 23 years now.
Yes,
I
yes.
apologize.
Path to 9/11 was one that I thought was an incredible experience to shoot. So if people want to see Path to 9/11, if they can get their hands on it, that was great. But really, Murder at the Embassy is where it's at, and check that out. That's what we're doing now. And yeah, I've been blessed to do genres, and genres are really why I do it.
Are you excited to see that there's gonna be more of these green episodes, these movies coming out?
Yes,
Because I think, yeah.
yes.
So
It's the second one. I think the third one's on the way or they're going to start soon. So absolutely. And I hope that the audience will continue with Miranda Green's story and will continue following her because she's a great character. She's an absolutely fantastic character.
thank you so much for your time. Final couple of questions, very quick one.
Yes.
Why do you love wolves? And you're also an author. What can people get from Love is the Answer, no matter what the question?
I love wolves because they have been my greatest teacher. Being around them and being around that majestic animal is very different to being around dogs. These are animals that you immediately understand that at any point in time they could finish you whenever they choose. So being in their presence is a privilege, and they make you feel that privilege. I've never experienced presence like that being that close to an animal like that and being around them was an incredibly soothing and healing part of my life, and I loved being around them. I think wolves are the greatest teachers. Learning about their social structure is where humans learned about their social structure. We implement the same thing, watching how the alpha responds to the alpha female and how they lead a group, and everybody has their role. The beta has their role, the alpha has their role, they all have their roles, and yeah, it's incredible, absolutely incredible. And to answer your second question, I think love is the answer no matter what the question. And I think that's the journey that we all should go on. And if we live each moment being in the moment, and we realize that you only have a choice in each moment to either follow your ego and serve yourself or follow the greater good. So you either follow fear or you follow love. You can't serve both at the same time. So I choose love.
Great. Again, thank you so much for your time. Great job in Murder at the Embassy.
Thank you. Pleasure to meet you.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. For more movie and television reviews and interviews, please subscribe to my Deepest Dream channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, thanks so much for your support. Take care.